All right, hopefully that first example made sense. Let's look at example number two, your second and final example for today. In this case, we are going to be doing essentially the same thing we just did, taking a quadratic function or equation that's in um, a, some other form and turning it into standard form. In this particular case, if you recognize the form that's given, with a being here, quantity x minus h squared plus k, this is our vertex form. So this one's a little more difficult, but if you understand what it means to square something and how to FOIL and to distribute and to combine like terms, we should be able to handle it. It's a lot of things, but let's take a look and see if we can put it into play. So now, with our equation, again, we have starting with an equation, we should end with one, no matter what you do in the middle. If you want to do some scratch work and give me the standard form, that's cool, but just make sure the work's shown on your homework somewhere. So here's what we got. Now, most of us probably remember that when you square something, you're actually taking it and multiplying it by yourself. So what we're going to have to do here when we're given these equations in vertex form, what we're going to do is we're going to expand the square. Okay, I'm going to write it out as a product of the two binomials that are actually being squared here. So this right here would actually say 3 times x minus 1 times x minus 1. Okay, now that looks an awful lot like what we just did, and we're going to handle it the way we just did it on the first video. But we have this little plus 8 on the end of it, or that plus k value, which once we get through all of this part here, all this multiplying, we'll just go ahead and add this with any other like terms or constants. So if we're going to go ahead, we'll start it just the way we did last time with the FOIL process. Okay, start multiplying the two binomials. I'll take the x times the x. Okay, leave a out in front for the time being. Take the x times the x there. We'll get x squared, excuse me. All right, that's f. Outsides will be x times negative 1, which will give me negative 1x, or just negative x. The insides will get negative 1 times x, which is negative x also. And then finally, we'll hit last with a negative 1 times a negative 1. Again, careful there. Negative times negative makes positive. 1 times 1 equals 1. Okay. All right. Now, again, just like before, let's clean up what's inside those parentheses there before we distribute the 3. Remember, the order of operations would say to multiply before you do any addition. So we got to take care of the 3 times this thing before we can add the 8 in. But we do have like terms in here. Negative 1x minus 1 more x will give us negative 2x's. Okay, and then plus 1. And some of you are going to be tempted right here. But again, you can't do that addition until you take care of this multiplication. So distribute the 3. Okay. We'll get 3 times x squared is just 3x squared. Take 3 times negative 2x. Okay, numbers times numbers. We'll get positive times negative is negative. 3 times 2 is 6. This one doesn't have any x's. This one does, so just bring them with. Okay, and then 3 times positive 1 is plus 3. Okay, and don't forget here, I made a little mistake. We did have a plus 8 there on the end. All right, I'll bring that down as well. Notice once we've FOILed, distributed, all that's left now is adding and subtracting of terms. There's no more multiplying going on here, which means all we need to do is look for things that are like, which we have like terms here and here, and if once we get those combined, we should be completed with our problem. So we have 3x squared minus 6x plus 3 and plus 8 will give us a plus 11. And there we go. Notice it is in descending form here, or what we call the standard form, highest power, the next highest power, lowest powered term from left to right. It is still an equation, y equals, just like your answer should be tomorrow. Okay. All right. For the next 10 minutes, you will work on the following problems. Again, just a reminder, if you're not understanding everything completely, don't worry, we will start class tomorrow with a review. But for right now, go ahead and do the best you can on page 253, numbers 43 through 47, okay, and number 49, okay. Good luck. Work together, help each other out, and do the best you can.